The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning. It's 5 a.m. It is a Wednesday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
And we begin this morning with heartbreaking news about the sudden death of a young soccer star out of Bakersfield. Talia Chavarria was found dead in a home near New Mexico State University earlier this week. Chavarria was a former standout athlete at Frontier High School. She just turned 20 years old last week and was gearing up for her third season at New Mexico State. The university did not disclose the cause of death, but says there is no reason to believe it was suspicious of criminal activity. We are still waiting to hear back from the pending autopsy results. Aggies head coach Ron Bartz released a statement saying, The sudden loss of Talia has completely rocked our Aggie soccer world. T was an inspiration and a rock to this team. Her spirit will be with us on and off the pitch.
And now in your 17 Court Watch, a jury has convicted 2 people in what prosecutors are calling a revenge murder case. It all happened about 3 years ago. A homeless man was stabbed to death in an alley just north of downtown Bakersfield. Prosecutors say Mindy Evans plotted the killing with her friends because the homeless man tried to sexually assault her. Evans and one of her friends were found guilty yesterday. Another friend was acquitted. They're due for sentencing next month.
Meantime, the owner of a Bakersfield pool company and his 2 sons pleaded no contest to beating a man who tried to steal items from their business. It happened last year. The owner, John Sparks, says he was woken up by a security alarm and rushed to his store, Sparks Custom Pools. When he got there, he found a man had broken in. Prosecutors say Sparks and his sons then zip-tied the man's hands together and repeatedly hit and pepper sprayed him. They pleaded no contest yesterday to misdemeanor assault. Felony charges were dismissed. Sentencing is scheduled for September.
And turning now to search and rescue on the Kern River, crews are still looking for a man who fell off a raft Monday afternoon. His family says he can't swim. Search leaders say that man was not wearing a life vest. Crews located his raft, but there's been no sign of him or his body. The girlfriend of the missing man says his name is Andy Nguyen. Those who knew him were out at the river yesterday helping in the search. His girlfriend explains how he quickly disappeared into the water.
We ran this way. By the time we got to him, he was around here. And then from right here, he tried to hold on to the floaty, but I feel like he felt like it was holding him down. So he threw the floaty and jumped. And when he jumped, he went under the water. And after that, we have not found him.
Nguyen was last seen near the Lake Mean campground. Search and rescue crews say they're still searching by air with drones and on the water by boat.
Meantime, the search continues for another man who went missing in the Kern River on Friday. Crews first got a call about 3 swimmers, all of them not wearing life vests and needing to be rescued near Riverside Park. 2 girls were safely brought back to shore, but the third swimmer, a 21-year-old man, was swept away by the raging waters. Been making headlines around the state this morning. For the first time in more than half a century, a former Charles Manson follower is walking free. Leslie Van Houten was released from prison yesterday. This comes just days after Governor Gavin Newsom said he would no longer fight her parole after a state appeals court ruled she should be set free. Van Houten served 53 years of life, a life sentence for participating in the 1969 killings of 2 of 7 people that were killed by the Manson family. Her attorney says she was taken to transitional housing.
In Hollywood, actors could soon join writers on the picket lines. Actors' contracts with studios expire at midnight and there's no deal in sight. They're seeking higher wages and increased residual payments. They also want to limit how studios use artificial intelligence. If the actors go on strike, it will be the first time in 63 years that both actors and writers hit the picket lines.
This morning, the Secret Witness program is offering a reward of $10,000 for information leading to an arrest and prosecution in the Mojave mass murder case. It happened more than 2 months ago in an RV lot. 4 people were shot and killed overnight. Investigators have linked evidence from that mass murder scene and a separate shooting that happened nearby on the same day. Anyone with information related to this is asked to call the sheriff's office at 861-3110 or secret witness at 322-4040.
Meantime, a $2,500 reward is being offered to help find the man who dumped 3 puppies in the parking lot of a Bakersfield grocery store last month. Video shows the man backing up his car, opening the hatchback and pushing the puppies to the ground before driving off. It happened last month behind the grocery outlet on Olive Drive. The dogs are Wheaton Poodle puppies and under a year old. They're being cared for by the Shelter Hope Pet Shop in Thousand Oaks. The pups have been spayed and neutered, and they're now up for adoption. You can find information on how to adopt them on our website, kget.com.
Local animal shelters are still struggling with a huge influx of lost pets from the 4th of July. The Bakersfield Animal Care Center says last week they took in nearly 200 new dogs, but only 20 were returned to their owners. The shelter, which was already at capacity, euthanized 40 dogs in a single day just to make room for the holiday strays. Now, tough decisions will have to be made again. Unless owners reclaim their pets, or the shelter can get fosters, adopters, and volunteers to help save lives.
East Bakersfield neighbors are outraged, accusing county officials of not doing their part to ensure safe and equitable parks. 17's Karen Marroquin is in studio to tell us more.
Broken tables, graffiti, and closed restrooms. Just 3 of the disparities that residents of District 5 say they've experienced in parks for years. Today, many of them came together in a take-a-look tour in hopes of highlighting the destruction and vandalism that they say must be addressed. The tour took place in 4 of the 8 neighborhood parks in Supervisorial District 5, starting at Heritage Park. Rosanna Esparza says she's been walking to this park for years and always has to walk back home to use the restroom, as she alleges the ones at the park are always closed. She argues that it's a, quote, disrespect for everyday life and the needs people have, end quote. District 5 Parks and Rec Commissioner Yusidra Osby says her biggest concerns are sanitation and safety issues.
It's creating health concerns. It's a public health issue at this point because there's no running water. Then people are not able to use the restroom. They're not able to wash their hands. It's very hot outside, and if you can't get water to drink during a hot day, you're at risk.
Now, county officials argue that most of the time the restrooms are open and that the reason they have to close them at times is because of vandalization and destruction that they experience on a weekly basis, and that they've spent a great deal of money repairing them. They add that these parks will be getting facelifts 12 to 18 months from now, and that they should be completed in the next 2 years. County officials say the money for these upgrades will be allocated from a Proposition 68 grant, a bill that allows the finance for purposes of a drought, water, parks, climate, coastal protection, and outdoor access. In studio, Karen Marroquin, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.